Welcome to History Adventuring. This is episode number 591. I'm Brad Hall, and today I'm being part of Hollywood in 1983. When I tell people that I was a part of Hollywood in 1983, their reaction depends on how much they know about Los Angeles. And with that in mind, I would like to describe my part in Hollywood, starting with the first thing that springs to mind. The movies. No, I was never in a movie or a TV show or anything like that. So when I say that I was part of Hollywood in 1983, we have to take a closer look at the city of Los Angeles. Now stay with me here, and if you're already a Hollywood insider, you may be a little bit impatient with me. I'm sorry. I lived in an inexpensive apartment in Los Angeles the year after I graduated from college. I moved from Tempe, Arizona. My goal at the time was to see if I could land a job at an advertising agency. And to me, there were two places I could go, either LA or New York. That is, Wilshire Boulevard or Madison Avenue. And since I never considered New York for an instant, I moved to LA. By the way, I never did work for an advertising agency. So when I tell people that I failed in Hollywood, that's what I mean. Of course, most people imagine that I was seeking fame and fortune, but I wasn't. I was just looking for a job in advertising. If you're confused at this point that I'm using Hollywood and Los Angeles interchangeably, it's because it's the same place. And I'm not trying to be mystical or artistic here. Hollywood isn't its own city, it's just part of the city of Los Angeles. There are other separate cities in the LA area, like Beverly Hills or Santa Monica, but they have their own mayor, a police force, that sort of thing. The Hollywood cops are LAPD. And while there are, of course, many people who work in the industry, which is how people there refer to jobs in movies and TV, the vast majority of people don't. I mean, it's a big city and there are a lot of jobs there. Of course, the assumption is that you're just working at a job until you can get the call back from an audition. But like I say, I wasn't interested in working in the industry. The apartment complex where I lived was on Argyle, just north of Franklin. If you're not familiar with the geography of Hollywood, don't worry. It was near Hollywood and Vine. The Pantages Theater was on Argyle and the Boulevard. By the way, people in Hollywood didn't say Hollywood Boulevard, they just said the Boulevard. For example, Pep Boys was on the Boulevard. I became fascinated with what I call history adventuring when I lived there, and especially the lives of ordinary people, like me. For me, it all started with a visit to the library and seeing an old black and white photo of the area while the Hollywood Hills housing development was being built. It was called Hollywoodland, and there was a big sign advertising it. Back in the 1920s, that sign must have been visible for miles. And it was just advertising a housing division, because Los Angeles had been crowded for a very long time, and they'd run out of level space and had to build in the hills. I left Hollywood the next year to take a job in Santa Barbara, so I really only spent a year there, but it made a big impression on me, as you can tell. I've gone back there to visit several times, but mostly I visit in my imagination, picturing Hollywood in the 1940s, with Philip Marlowe driving along Franklin, which is where his office was, then maybe following a suspicious character on the boulevard, or driving all the way to Bay City, which is what Raymond Chandler called Santa Monica. Overall, I'd say Hollywood was just the same as any other neighborhood in Los Angeles. This has been History Adventuring. I'll talk to you later.